Right guys, so this is probably one of the most common questions that I get on Instagram, and it's how do you start your diet? Now for most people, they rush in at the deep end, they have big expectations in a very short period of time. Now, first thing that I'd always say when it comes to dieting is look at the time frame that you've got available. If you've got a holiday in 20 weeks time, work backwards from there and give yourself plenty of time to do it. Now, the first thing that I'd always say when it comes to starting a diet is working out your rate of loss from that. So if you've got a holiday 20 weeks away and you want to lose 10 kilos in body weight, quick maths, that's 0.5 kilos a week. Now that is realistic, and it's something that if you sustain that, you'd be in awesome shape. But in the most part, people want a quick fix, and dieting shouldn't be a quick fix. This is the issue now with Instagram and all these like 6 week, 8 week transformations. You're going to get amazing results, don't get me wrong, but it's the aftermath of what happens after that, like the aftercare of as soon as you put a load more food in your diet, you get a bit of a taste of that food that you've been craving for 8 weeks. The weight's just going to pile back on. How I like to approach with my clients is very different. We start off in something called a priming phase. The first sort of 2 to 4 weeks of coaching, we're trying to stabilize everything that comes down to your nutrition and also your expenditure. We want nutrition to be going like this and expenditure to be going like this as well. Any bumps in the road, we need to understand why that's happening. The more variables we can keep consistent, the better results you're going to get. So if you can always hit 10,000 steps a day, you can always hit 1,800 calories a day. You track that for 2 weeks and see how your weight is trending. Then if your weight's staying the same, we know we're at maintenance. If your weight's creeping down, we know that you're already in a deficit then. So it could be potentially increase the food and see what happens then. So that is the first sort of stage that I would run from a dieting perspective then. After that then, I look at right, let's assess how much of a deficit you need to put yourself into in order to lose that weight. This is where it comes down to you as an individual. I would personally rather pull back food depending on the individual. But if you tend to find yourself, you are very, very food focused, then food is probably the last thing you want to touch. But if you've got a lot of time on your hands, increasing expenditure might be the best option to do. So from a food perspective, first thing I would probably look at doing is dropping calories by 200 to 250 calories a day, preferably obviously from carbs or fats, and making sure that your protein intake is anywhere between 1.8 to 2.2 grams per kilo of body weight. Once you've done that then, it's all about assessing then your rate of loss. So if you're losing that 0.5 kilos, for example, per week, don't change anything. You're not going to speed up the process by making silly, rash decisions. It's just going to cause you a lot more headaches in the long run. Keep the rate of loss consistent and then make changes when need to. And from a changing perspective, it could be a case of, again, drop another 250 calories, see what happens, or add an extra 30 minutes of cardio in the week. And trust me, if you stay consistent with it, the results are going to come. So quick recap as to what you need to do when setting up a diet. So work backwards from your time frame. If it's 20 weeks away, work backwards from there. Work out your rate of loss. Start that priming phase at the start where you stabilise your weight and stabilise your nutrition and your expenditure. Then once that's done, assess when you need to make changes based on when weight loss comes to a halt. For more information and more tips and tricks like this, make sure that you like, comment and subscribe to the YouTube channel.